Hello, entrepreneurs, and welcome to the Possibility Partners TV show. I'm your host, Ande Lyons, your Chief Possibility Officer, and I love helping early stage entrepreneurs launch, brand, and build their businesses without spending a fortune or wasting a lot of time. And every Tuesday, I'm here in Google Plus land on Hangouts on Air, 1 p.m. Eastern, and I'm sharing Andelicious advice for entrepreneurial adventurers. And that's conversations with a seasoned, experienced entrepreneur sharing their tips, tools, and resources to help you and your business thrive, hum, and soar to the next level. And today, I have a very special guest. Yep, Mr. Video Marketing himself, Lou Bortone. Let's just say a quick howdy-do to Lou, okay? Lou, hi.
Hi, how you doing? Good to see you.
Where are you hailing from?
I'm in southern New Hampshire,
Aha.
about an hour north of Boston.
Yeah, he's right up the road from me. I'm so lucky to have someone nearby, and I had a wonderful time this summer at an event. I got to spend the whole day right next to Lou, and it was a wonderful experience. We had a great time, and I got to know him and his work a lot better, and I'm so thrilled he's joining us today because really we create great videos, right? We do some 2 minutes, we do these great hangouts that go right up to YouTube and get archived, and we put them on our websites. But marketing our videos, what are we doing there? How are we taking this wonderful content and shifting it and creating more, not just engagement with our customers and clients, but converting them into paying customers and clients or buying our products? Like, how do we boost our bottom line with videos? So we're going to get started with Lou in just a second. I have to do some shout-outs, so for some wonderful live viewers here who are making me howl with their great comments. And, of course, it's Cheryl Locke. Speaking of video, she's a video goddess. And we have Yvonne Hyman and Danielle Miller and Richard O. and Lainey Sullivan. Also, we have joining us today Carmen Mandic, Roy Montero, and Rain Dowell, oh my gosh, and Elaine Starling. Oh my gosh, everybody, thank you so much for hopping in live and joining us for this great conversation. But let's find out, how did Lou become an entrepreneur? Because, you know, everybody's got their story. So, Lou, there you were. You were working for someone initially, right? And you became an entrepreneur. How did that happen?
I worked in Los Angeles, and I was a senior VP of marketing for a division of Fox. And yeah, I mean, I had a pretty cush life. I had the corner office and got to go on the corporate jet every now and then and all that kind of stuff. So in a moment of insanity, I left all that and all the glitz and glamour of LA to come back to New England.
Oh my gosh!
Because my kids were oh God, this is a while ago. They were two. I have two. They were 2 years old. They're twins. So we were out in LA. You know, we didn't have a lot of family out there, so we decided to come back to New England. And I came back for a .com job, which sounded like a good idea at the time, but it didn't last that long. So I had to kind of scramble and say, all right, well, what do I know how to do? You know, well, I can market stuff and I can brand stuff. So that's what I've been doing for, 20 years plus. So I just decided to bring that all online.
Well, you know, having lived in LA with a .com, I mean, the weather there, Lou, for you to give up that cushy corner office with a lot of visibility to come back to the harsh New England winters, what's the matter with you?
I don't know what I was thinking. I've been trying to get back ever since. These days, after the kids finish high school, I've brainwashed them both to want to go to college in Southern California. So that's my ticket out of here.
So great. But I understand wanting to raise your kids around the values of New England and near family as well, so they can be enriched by all of that. So you scrambled after you had your .com. What was it about video and online branding and video marketing that appealed to you?
I was doing a lot of traditional video production for nonprofits. We kind of go out with the big cameras and mics and lights and set things up and shoot. We were doing commercials and things like that. And it was just getting, everything was moving online. It was just getting harder and harder. And having come from the TV business, like, oh, I can't go back to that because it was just like shrinking and getting more constricted. And everything was moving online. And I said, this is the way to go. I mean, we sold our $15,000 video camera and got a flip camera for $200 and just started doing video that way. And now with the iPhone, it's even easier. So
wow. Now,
tons of
who
them.
influenced you? Because when you say flip cam, I automatically, of course, think of Gary Z. But who
Hmm.
was your influence in shifting from being behind the camera and those big honking cameras on
Yeah.
TV to something easier um, and user friendly as far as grabbing a quick message with a
Hmm.
handheld video?
Yeah, I mean, and I still to this day don't really like being on camera, so that was a big challenge for me because I did not want to be on this side of the camera. But I saw folks early on, like my friend Mike Stewart in Georgia, who was doing a lot of video, and he was just being himself, a great old Southern guy with a big Hawaiian shirt. I'm like, well, I guess if you can pull it off and you can just be yourself, then I suppose I can do it. And Gary Vee, obviously, when he first started and was doing Wine Library TV, it was really low tech. I mean, it was like a card table and a chalkboard.
I know. Or remember the time he put the camera on the hood of his car? I mean, in downtown Manhattan, it was crazy. But you bring up a really good point, which is I don't want to be in front of the camera. That's not easy for me. That's a
Hmm.
huge thing you overcame. What do you think? I know you saw your friend in the Hawaiian shirt do it. Where else? Because you had to dig deep to bring yourself to that place in front of the camera.
Yeah, I had to just kind of embrace my inner goofiness. So I thought, if I can hide behind costumes and props and dogs and kids, I'll be okay. So I did a lot of really goofy stuff at first. I dressed up as Moses for the Ten Commandments of video, and that stuff started to get some traction. So I said, well, I must be onto something here. So I just decided to, if you're not afraid to make an ass of yourself, you can do anything.
Okay, that's going to be a tweet for me. If you get a chance to go to Lou Bortone's YouTube channel, oh my gosh, the Moses. I mean, he does a lot of funny things. He brings in costumes. Lou, you're so funny. And those are 5 years old, right? I mean, you've been doing
Yeah.
it for many years.
Yeah, I looked back because somebody asked me how many videos I had on YouTube, and I realized I joined YouTube, 1 or 2 months after they first started. So nobody knew what they were doing. Everybody was just putting stuff up there, and it was like the goofier the better. So and now I think I counted like 511 videos on YouTube or something like that. So it's crazy.
Wow. Okay, now here you are, a dad. You have young children. You're in the role of supporting your family. How
Mhm.
did you monetize this talent of video and as you grabbed onto something that people really weren't
Mhm.
glopping onto real fast 5 or 6 years ago?
Right. Well, my wise ass answer would be, oh, we can monetize this. Let me know when that happens. No, actually, it's been great because if you can do video, even if you're just doing tips videos or short videos, you can turn those into products and digital assets that can be sold, obviously. So for me, I like doing webinars because I like teaching, and I can show slides. I use Google Hangouts like we use here, and I show my screen. And those lessons or that teaching can be turned into products. So I just, when I create um, information products, I just deliver them via video. So that's one way to monetize it,
Right, right.
just
And
products.
and you had to rely on some core ingredients that all entrepreneurs need to rely on, which is, of course, tenacity and persistence and resilience as you built your business and your following. You have quite a following today. What primary ingredient, though, really worked well for you to build your brand and your own online presence?
I think it was a lot of trial and error, but just the stubbornness of not kind of giving up during the many times. I'm like, okay, this video only got 16 views, and 8 of them are mine because I watched it 8 times. So a lot of it's just, like you say, persistence and stick-to-itness, and just
Right.
realizing that, you'll find your audience. And that's another thing about YouTube. A lot of people get discouraged because they don't get a lot of viewers. It's like, you only need to find the right viewers. You don't need to have a viral video. I also was doing some research on YouTube. All of the videos that have tons of views are mostly music videos and Lady Gaga and Justin Bieber. There's a couple of viral videos here and there, like Charlie Bit My Finger, and those are like happy accidents.
Yeah.
But the vast majority of videos never get more than 500 views. So if you're getting anywhere in the hundreds, you're doing okay. And if you're hitting the right people, that's all you need. You just need to reach your target market. You don't necessarily need to reach the masses.
I love that. And of course, I love Lou. Is he not sharing some of the best advice here today? Come on, raise your hands. We're loving this. So before I talk some more about that, let's just check out some of these fun comments, Lou, okay? So we
Okay.
have Tanya here who's saying, embrace your inner goofiness. Hey! I certainly do that a lot here at the Possibility Partners TV show. Roy, with Google HOAs, we can now have our own TV show.
Right.
Woohoo! Absolutely. And how much fun is that, Roy, right? Oh my gosh. And a couple of Fox comments. Uh,
Mhm.
Elaine Starling, Lou Bortone, Fox's loss is our gain.
Oh,
Oh, Elaine, what a great thing to say. That's wonderful. And just to make us really feel great, we have Bob Barron saying, so much fun watching Andy Lyons and Lou Bortone from beautiful sunny Encinitas, California
rub it
today.
in, Bob. Rub it in.
Oh, great, Bob. Rub it in. Just rub that in. Oh, boy. So, folks, all you have to do is hop on over to Lou Bortone, that's LOUBORTONE.com, to learn more about his extraordinary work in video. And I also want to remind those live viewers, you can meet Lou today one-on-one by clicking on the link that I provide after I hit end broadcast. You can hop into a really fun, contagious, and infectious green room after show glow chat, and it's a tremendous opportunity to hang with both Lou and myself and ask questions and have a delicious conversation. So we hope we're going to see you at the end of the show. Now, Lou, let's get back to the main topic here, which is how we can use video marketing to build our businesses and boost our bottom lines. I mean, as I said earlier, we start off with videos that we're creating here. This will be a nice 30-plus minute show on my YouTube channel, but there's more to that. And let's get into the big picture of video marketing, and creating the strategy. And I really love what you talk about, which is how we have to identify our video sweet spot. And my sweet spot isn't going to be the same as your sweet spot, folks. So we have to find out what for our business is going to be wonderful. And you suggest everybody do the 3 Ps. So that, of course, is purpose, premise, and platform. So let's start talking about that.
Yep. And purpose, again, is just, what goal do you want to accomplish with video? I happen to believe that anything that you can do online, you can do better with video. So if you're doing email, you can do video email, which has a lot more impact. If you're doing, blogs, you can do video blogs. You can do things like the Google Hangouts, which, a few years ago would have been unheard of, that you can say, hey, I want my own TV channel on the web. I'm just going to fire up a Google Hangout for free and be good to go. So you have to decide before you sort of, figure out what you're going to do. What do you want to accomplish? Do you want to build a list or a community? Do you want to attract clients? Do you want to get traffic to your website? So once you know what you're trying to accomplish, it's a lot easier to figure out what kind of video to do.
Absolutely. And you always like to use the Stephen Covey quote, begin with the end in mind. Oh, such a great point. And some people actually monetize their video hangouts right here on air, and that's another whole marketing strategy, a tactic within the video marketing strategy. I know for me, writing a blog, I got it's an arm behind my back. So using video vlogging is a wonderful way to go, I believe. Let's talk about the premise, which is the message. This is so important, how to get clarity on our messages.
Yes, and I used to do the same thing. It's like I'd be so excited about doing, okay, I'm finally got up the nerve to do video, fire up the webcam, and then I'm like, oh wait, what am I going to say? And again, the purpose or the goal is going to help determine that. But the premise of the message is, how can you communicate what you want to communicate as quickly and easily as possible, and so it can have the most impact. And that could just be a 30-second tip, or it could be a half-hour Google Hangout. So you just have to determine what's the message, what's the best way to get it out there. And it's not even always going to be on camera. Sometimes it might be a slideshow or a PowerPoint animation, something like that. So
yeah, I love that. And one of the things I love is this Screencast-O-Matic for my trailer for the shows each week. That's what I use. Also for Andy Licious advice videos, I use when I'm showing out, how to doll up, accessorize your YouTube channel, things like that. I use the screen share, which is wonderful. But in the past, I've also done the 2-minute video where I've scripted it all out, memorized it, and then tried to deliver it without it looking.
Hmm.
I memorized it. But the point is, I don't speak well extemporaneously, meaning off the cuff, off the top of my head. And I know for video marketing, it's so important to get a clear message out. I want to make sure I get the information out in a way for people to hear.
Hmm.
What about the casual video, Lou? Is that possible? Will that
Yeah,
still work?
absolutely. Yeah, I think I usually divide videos into two categories. One is, a branding video, something that's going to be on your website for a while. Maybe it's your homepage video. That's something that you probably want to put a little bit more thought and preparation into, versus if I'm, at the Patriots game like I was on Sunday with my iPhone, and I can just do a quick little, "Hi, I'm here freezing my butt off in Foxborough, Massachusetts." That those on-the-fly videos are great, and they don't need to be fancy. I mean, it's really more about the moment. So,
Right. That's
you can
great.
either
And
do a shelf life kind of video or a quick video that you can just crank out.
right, right. Well, and one of the things I'll just interject right here. Lou, I'm on Lou's email list, and I highly recommend everybody hop on over to Lou Bortone and .com and get on his email list because he always sends fabulous information. The other day, he sent something so cool, which was this great video message just saying, "Hey, how you doing? Just checking in. What's new? What's happening?" It was so wonderful and so authentic. I know that's an overused word, but he really, well, you see, Lou. And it's a platform, I think, called Audello. Just chat a little bit about that because as far as,
Hmm.
a premise, what a great, great tool.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many good tools out there that are really inexpensive and affordable. Audello is one that helps with podcasting. Um, video email like VSnap is what I used, I think, to send that video email. Uh,
Yeah.
and again, it doesn't, I wasn't all dressed up and fancy. I just, I really should, reach out to a couple folks I haven't talked to in a while. So rather than do an email that's going to get lost in the inbox, I just did a quick little video email using VSnap.
That is so cool. Everyone, I am going to have the link to in the archives to that video because you're going to love it. I thought it was fabulous. And just recently, we got introduced to Movi, which is another form of a quick MOVY, I think it is,
Hmm.
way of doing a quick video message to somebody. It felt like they were upgrading Snap,
Yeah.
Snapchat, whatever it is that my kids use.
Hmm.
That's all terrific. I also do an Andylicious Minute every week, which is a
Hmm.
very easy, again, screencast, but a great way to reach people. So video can be moved around in so many different ways, folks. That's why it's so important that you find your own sweet spot. So the third P
Hmm.
is platform. Let's talk a
Right.
little about that.
Yeah, and again, that's just how do you want to what do you want to use to deliver the message? Do you want to do a Google Hangout like we're doing here?
Hmm.
Do you want to do an animated video or a screencast? There's so many different ways to slice and dice it, and a lot of times, again, it just depends on the message and the purpose. So if you say my goal here is just to reach out, I haven't talked to Andy for a few months, I really got to reconnect, and rather than send an email, I'll send a video email because it's more personal and engaging. Or if the goal is to, okay, I have to do a webinar and I have a lot of information to share, so I think I'll do that via PowerPoint or screencast because rather than just be the talking head for 45 minutes, I can share the information that way.
It's great. And the other thing, too, is that you always talk about think outside the screen. I love that, Lou.
Hmm.
And I think you've just given us some great examples of different ways to do that. But would you talk about two that I think are really cool, which are these animated videos? You call
Hmm.
it Video Scribe and
Yeah.
Powtoon. I don't know if I'm saying those
Yeah.
correctly.
Yep. Video Scribe is like those sketch videos, those whiteboard videos that we're seeing all over the place. And again, the software now makes it so easy to do. I mean, there's stuff coming out every day. I have to resist buying all the new toys because, again, you can become an animator. What would have taken months or thousands of dollars even a couple of years ago, now you can do with $67 software. So it's crazy. Powtoon's the same thing. It's a way to create kind of drag and drop animation and make animated messages and cartoons and again things that would have I mean when I first went to Fox and we were doing still doing Saturday morning cartoons, we'd have to send them overseas and it would take weeks and weeks to animate just a couple minutes of video,
Right.
and now you've got these sometimes free tools, sometimes very low cost tools that can turn you into an animator in about 10 minutes.
I love that because, again, we're just sharing our message and it's finding different ways to share our message that will resonate with our audience and with our business model.
Hmm.
Um, and before we move on to off of platforms, share YouTube versus Vimeo.
Hmm.
What's up with that?
That's a good debate, YouTube versus Vimeo. I mean, the way I look at it is YouTube is the Walmart of video, and Vimeo is like Nordstrom. So Vimeo is smaller, but it's a nicer platform. Some people say it's a nicer user experience. It's just a higher end way to do video. So a lot of people who are sort of purists and doing really nice quality video usually default to Vimeo, whereas YouTube is a lot more of the sort of mass market Walmart approach. Like, okay, it's going to be. I mean, like I just saw somewhere that Grumpy Cat's going to have his own movie or something. It's like, how did a cat get a movie from being on YouTube? So that's just the way it goes.
Anything can happen. Grumpy cat. Okay, so I've got a few more comments I'd love to share. Cheryl Locke says, why use video? Well, if a picture is worth 1,000 words and YouTube is accepting up to 60 FPS, that is 60,000 words per second. Think of that with your next 3-minute video.
Yes. Good point.
Good point, Smarty Pants there, Cheryl Locke. And Richard O says, keep showing up, build relationships, rinse, and repeat. You got that right, Richard O. And a lot of people are asking about this, and Andrea was the first one. Is that an Emmy we see behind you, Lou?
Hey, Dre. Yes, but I have to admit that it's my late father's Emmy. But I just put it there because I learned from a mentor early on that it's good to have authority bling behind you.
Authority bling behind you. What did he receive his Emmy for?
That was for set design at WBZ TV in Boston, where I grew up. And I literally grew up at the TV station, so I had, that's how I ended up in this crazy.
How cool is that? To Elaine Starling, you were asking, Ordello, it's Audello, Audello, and I'll throw the links into the comment stream as well as have them in the archives for after the show. But I'm so glad you answered that Nordstrom versus which was great. Here, a lot of us on Google Plus, of course, we love our Hangouts. We're constantly working it here, and it's a wonderful format. We love it. We love the live engagement like we're having today, and then the video goes up to YouTube. Any suggestions for us on how we can best then market these videos?
Yeah, I mean, once you get it up to YouTube and it's sort of on the wild, wild west up there, YouTube does make it pretty easy to share that video to Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn and Google Plus, obviously. So it's, once you get the video up there, share it as much as you can to as many platforms as you can, because you may have folks who don't frequent YouTube, but maybe they're on Facebook a lot, so they may see it on Facebook. You can even take videos and put them on Pinterest, which a lot of folks don't realize, or if you have a really short 15-second video, you can put it on Instagram. So there's a lot of different platforms to use, and the more you get it out there, the more chance you have of folks seeing it.
Right, and I love that Pinterest idea. What I do is I share it to Pinterest from YouTube. So that way, the minute someone scrolls over it, it just starts.
Yeah.
It's wonderful.
Again, YouTube makes it so easy to, sort of one-click sharing, and you can send it to a bunch of platforms. So it doesn't mean you have to spend hours and hours uploading to different sites. It's really just a matter of taking the same content and putting it on different platforms.
So, again, we always come back because we are entrepreneurs and we like the sound of ka-ching, ka-chang. And so how do we make sure that we're not just entertaining and engaging and building relationships? How can we make sure that there's a way to get cash, to convert our, using video to bring more people into our business, whether it's selling products or getting more clients or having more webinars and teaching moments?
Yep, that's part of it, the building the audience part. So obviously you're building a tribe and a community, you're building trust, you're increasing your know, like, and trust factor. So all the videos, I like to say that, every video is sort of a building block for your brand. So part of it's building that, and from that foundation, it's much, much easier to sell, especially if you've built some trust and credibility. And then part of it's just like, okay, well, I'm going to put this video on Udemy as a course and sell it. Or I'm going to do, like I did a few weeks ago, I'm going to do a creative live course and put all my information online and do a revenue share with them. So there are a lot of ways now that make it easy to monetize your information products.
Hey, thanks for bringing up Udemy. That's Udemy, folks. And it's a great way to take your training videos and make money with them. And they've got great free tutorials up there. It's wonderful. Now, is there a rule of thumb, Lou, I guess it really depends on the circumstance, but is there a
Hmm.
rule of thumb for how long videos should be?
Yeah, again, it depends on the goal for the video. I mean, I've done tips videos. In fact, I used Google Hangouts because it was so easy, and I knew I didn't have an audience. I just did a handful of really, really quick 1 minute video tips, and I used Google Hangouts because I know they'd go to directly to YouTube. So I sort of just an easy way to get stuff on YouTube. So in that case, if I was doing quick tips, I could do 1 minute, one right after the other. If I'm teaching something that's a little bit more complicated, like if we were going to do a class on Google Hangouts or something, you can get away with 30 or 45 minutes. So that's a different, it's just a different scenario. I think as long as the user knows or the viewer knows, what are they in for? Like, okay, I'm going to see a 1 minute video, I can handle that, or I need to set aside a half hour to watch and learn this stuff.
Right. And, folks, I was on Ronnie Bincer's show last week talking about Hangouts for early stage entrepreneurs, and the show was 30 minutes long, but he did something I had never seen before and I thought was brilliant, which is he grabbed a 2 minute segment, a minute of my sharing my wisdom and my thoughts, and a minute of his, and made a short clip out of it. And I thought, duh, that's,
Hmm.
that's a great idea, right? A little way of repurposing.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes I kid. It's like I've only done one 1 hour webinar, and that's all I have. I just slice it up and dice it a million different ways. I'm sorry, I only have this much info, but I'm going to make it look like this much.
Well, and speaking of webinars, you have a wonderful webinar this Thursday, November 6th at 7 p.m. Folks, I'm going to put the link into the archives and in the comment stream because Lou uses a wonderful paid for product called Webinar Jam. But he does a phenomenal job at explaining and training using this format. Talk a little bit about that, Lou.
Thanks. Yeah, I mean, I have to sort of force myself to say, I haven't done a webinar for a while. I really should get out there and, I just like to share the info that's new because things like YouTube change so quickly and new products come up so quickly that every once in a while I just want to do sort of I'm going to share some content and, teach a webinar, do like a sort of a 45-minute teaching webinar where I've got new information. And again, that just helps sort of, get kind of people in the tribe and build community and build some trust. And I'm not selling anything on the webinar, but of course, if somebody says, "Oh, I want to work with you or I want to coach with you," then great. So.
Wonderful. Yeah, it's a wonderful platform. I highly encourage everyone to just jump on this webinar that Lou uses using Google Hangouts, using Webinar Jam. It's wonderful, and how he directs people and signs them up. It's a great, great tool. You should investigate. Just quickly, Lainey Sullivan
Hmm.
says, just subscribe to Lou
Oh,
Bortone.
thank you, Lenny.
Bortone. I keep saying tune. It's Bortone. I know that. Sorry, Lou.
Hmm.
And great question from Cheryl Locke. Lou, what is a big difference between making a TV show or commercial compared to making a user-initiated video? I see people
Hmm.
trying to make their videos like TV, and it doesn't work so well.
Yep. I think the irony is that a lot of the TV people are trying to figure out how to make videos that look like YouTube videos. So, it depends how much you want to sort of dumb down the content. But I think the thing with YouTube and online videos is that there's an expectation that it's not going to be, the Academy Awards or anything. It's not the red carpet here. We're just trying to share information or resources. So especially with YouTube, you can get away with, as long as the content is good, you can get away with quality that's a little bit less. Obviously you want to do as nice as you can. But now, I mean, the really shocking thing for me is that CNN and NBC News and all these big shows are using Google Hangouts and Skype. So they're sort of, said that, hey, you know what? If Skype is good enough for CNN, it's good enough for me. So they bring in their guests. I mean, I know it's an economic decision, but they're bringing in guests via Skype. The quality is not that great, but it's on CNN. So it's like, hey, if it's good enough for them, it's good enough for me.
I love that. If it's good enough for them, it's good enough for me. If it's good enough for CNN, it's good enough for me. Sherlock also back has a wonderful reminder. This is so important. It's amazing what you find out, and that is YouTube has great analytics, so you can see
Hmm.
where you are losing viewers. This will help you decide how long your video should be. Wow, great point. Plus the demographics, everything, right, Lou?
Yeah, I'm big in Turkey for some reason, so I have a lot of viewers over. I don't know why. Like you look at the little map and it says, "Oh, you have viewers in Argentina and Turkey." I'm like, "All right, whatever."
Okay, cool. That's awesome. And then Elaine, thank you. Lou Bortone, I really appreciate all the
Thank you.
resources you've shared with us. Oh, what a lovely thing to say. Lou, we have a few minutes left. How can folks work with you?
hmm Well, you
Who's
can find
there?
me at lubortone.com, obviously, and I have products, I have group coaching, I have individual coaching, and a lot of times folks will just say, "Here's what I want to accomplish with video. Here's where I'm starting," and I try and help them with their strategy and walk through the entire process and really just hold their hand along the path so that they can do whatever kind of video it is that they want to do, so that they
Right.
can.
Does someone ever say, Lou, this is what I want to do. Would you please do it?
Once in a while, I still do a little bit of video production and things like that, but not as much as I used to. It doesn't scale very well, and
Right.
there are people that can probably do it
Yep.
less expensively than I can. I know somebody had a question earlier about Adobe After Effects versus Camtasia.
Camtasia. It was a smarty pants question from Denver, the prophet, and sorry, I didn't put it up on the screen because I couldn't seem to capture that, Denver, but go ahead.
So basically, I think that, they were asking about editing in different platforms and Adobe After Effects versus Camtasia, and it's kind of an apples and oranges thing. For editing, Camtasia is probably better because you can capture what's on your screen and slice and dice it, whereas Adobe After Effects is more like an animation and a motion graphics program that's a lot more complicated and has a steeper learning curve.
Wonderful. I so appreciate Lou, don't you? And the great advice he's brought to us today, especially scaling your business. At some point, you just can't be doing the client thing all the time. You really do need to widen and broaden your audience, finding ways, finding products, etc. And Lou has really staked his claim in the video world, and the advice he's brought to us today is amazing, amazing. Thank you so much, Lou.
Thank
At
you.
this point, I'd love to blow kisses out to the folks that couldn't make it today, but they stopped by and say hi, and I think that's so wonderful. So, mwahs to Deborah Oakland, Rain. Oh, well, Rain, you actually made it today, so that's awesome. Thomas, Hannah, Nazim, Tracy Baker, Christopher Pearsall, Gail Harris, Deborah Crosby, all you wonderful folks, thank you. And for you live viewers, big love hugs. I'm so grateful you're here today. And I hope you hit the link in the comments and join us for some Afterglow chat afterwards. Next week, we have the guest is the most amazing. You may know her from Google Plus here. You may know her from Twitter, where she really hangs out, and that's Stephanie Callahan. And she helps people really shift their mindset and do remarkable things. And she's going to be working with us on our visibility blocks, those success saboteurs that prevent us from reaching our full potential. And so we'll be here, Stephanie and I, on Tuesday. Let's see, today's the 4th, so it's November 11th. Oh my gosh, at 1 p.m. I hope you'll be here to join us. Lou, any last thoughts before we move on and end the show?
I think really, a lot of people are intimidated by video. They maybe don't want to be on camera. They're not sure where to start. Just start where you are. If you have an iPad or an iPhone, use that. Don't worry about the equipment. Just figure out what it is you want to say to folks and find the easiest way to say it.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Thank you, Lou. Thank you,
Thanks.
everyone, for showing up today and joining us. And for those in the replay city, thank you for watching this show. I'm so grateful. And I'm always here for you if you need help with anything. Be sure to watch the Ande Licious videos, watch prior Possibility TV, partner TV shows. There's all sorts of wonderful information for all you early stage entrepreneurs. So until next week, I am so grateful you have the courage to be an entrepreneur, and I'm wishing you an Ande Licious day. Mwah!